This is a webinar for the Vancouver Animation School. We're an online digital arts school located here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. We've been around for almost 10 years now, and my name is Calvin LeDuc. I'm the head of faculty. I'm also one of the computer animation instructors. Let's start showing you the school site. One of the great things about our school is we have our accreditation. That means government approval for the quality of your education you receive here. Now, the great thing about that is that students, Canadian students, can obtain student loans because we have accreditation, and foreign students can obtain student visas. And there's actually a third benefit, which I just saw happen this week, is if you go to a school that's not accredited, then it's really hard to get a visa to work or permanent residency in another country, whether you're a foreign student coming to this country or you're a Canadian that want to go and work in another country. So that's why you want to go to a school that has accreditation. Okay, so let's talk about our teachers. All of our teachers come from the industry. They're all working professionals. You can see they come from the television industry here, which is huge in Canada, and I mean, in this city of British Columbia. In every one of our programs, which crosses from concept to effects to 2D and 3D animation, we pick the best we can find: directors, supervisors, lead animators, effects. Ed Poon, who is great, and he was recommended by a friend of mine that runs a studio. It's a very small industry, guys. Everybody knows everybody, so you really want to do well at your job so people recognize you. So the scholarships. Now, if you have a portfolio, which is a requirement to get into the school, and if not, you take an intro course, then you should be applying for a scholarship. Everybody should be applying for a scholarship and submitting examples of their work. This will reduce the cost of your tuition. Moving on. Okay, I want to talk about our intro courses. The intro courses last 1 month, and their purpose is for anybody that's never taken an online course and wants to see what it's like, can take one of our online intro courses. And for all the major courses that we teach, we have these 1 month intro courses, and this is the last time we're running them because we're switching to a 3-month duration, which is the Intro to Digital Arts. And it'll be a combination of all our other diploma courses. So it'll contain 3D concept, 2D animation, 3D modeling, and effects. Now, if you don't have a portfolio, then a requirement to get into our school is that you must take an intro course. And like I was saying, July, I believe the 6th of July, is the last time we're running the 1 month version of the courses. So moving on to our diploma courses, we started with our core strengths. I started 8 years ago teaching here, and the 2 core strengths of the school were concept art and 3D character animation. We always tend to use freeware, which means free software, right? You guys have to supply your computer, your internet, a webcam, headphones, and a microphone. When you're taking a course, like I said, Maya is used as the software for the 3D course, and it's free for students and schools and teachers. And that's a great price, free, okay? Can't ask for better. The way the diploma courses are set up, they're 1 year in length, and are designed to get you up to speed to get that first junior position in a studio. So you have 4 terms. Each term is 3 months in duration. I don't want to go into too much detail. You can contact the school, but during those 3 months in regards to 3D animation, you're starting with the basic principles, and then it gets more complex. You go to the second term, you're learning about walks, locomotion. The third term, you're getting into pantomime acting and doing dialogue. And by the fourth term, you're working on your demo reel pieces. Let's show some examples of 3D animation. It's always good to see what the students have done with the quality of our education here. You know, here's some of those walk cycles I was telling you about, a run cycle. This is very important to know how to do a creature or an animal. That's a quadruped walk. So your choice, if you don't want to do a dog, a cat, some
What are you
pantomime.
saying?
Pantomime is acting without
That you want
dialogue.
to be like me?
Hello, I'm back.
Here's a dialogue scene.
What
We don't have
happened
the
to
sound
you?
on at the
I
moment.
like
And again,
it all
another
the animals.
final
Don't say that.
demo reel piece
You're
with
just
two
saying some
characters. And this is what the students are really looking for. Can you do dialogue and interaction between two characters? Great. Okay, so in terms of the 2D computer animation, the industry came to us. And that's the great thing that's happening now is they respect us so much that they actually are asking us and helping us develop new courses. And they said, you know, the most 2D computer animation done in North America is done right here in Vancouver, but we can't find enough people. And we said, help us build the course and find teachers, and we'll teach 2D animation. Most schools carry Adobe, and so we are using Flash, which is now called Adobe Animate. And it's set up exactly as along the same lines where you're going to get 4 terms, each 3 months in duration, and learning all the basics to get a solid demo reel so you can get that first job. Okay. So here's some student work. This is all our students. Basic walk cycles. And this is a final demo reel piece by a student.
And the girl spills all over your precious
sequence of his animation. Actually, knowing both 2D and 3D animation is a great idea, guys. You can actually decide to take a 2-year combined course, and you're even more valuable because a lot of TV series and studios do 2D and 3D animation. Okay, so 3D modeling. We really teach high-end 3D modeling. Is exactly the same idea that you're coming in, you're going to start learning the basics. You know, the great thing about going to school online, because I did a BA online, is, you know, you can still be working or working part-time or be a student at some other school and take our courses. Our courses are, you get 2 classes a week. One, you're learning about the assignment. The next one is a review of your work. But you actually have access to 2 additional classes. There's one teaching additional support for Maya 3D software, which is used for modeling and animation. And at the moment, we also have one for coding, but we often switch it. Sometimes it's about concept art. And if we could see some examples, please, for 3D modeling. And you can be anywhere in the world. And that's the great thing about being an online school. You know, you're not paying for the cost of transportation to a foreign city and renting and their food. And you can just stay where you are, and it's your, you know, internet, your electricity, your machine. The instructors can be anywhere in the world. So that's how we're able to access the best that we can find. And let's move on to concept art. This was one of our core subjects that we started with here. Concept art is designing everything for an animated project. Characters, vehicles, environments. some people, their entire career is just designing characters, whether they're organic or inorganic. You're coming up with model sheets. You're learning to draw in different styles, realistic, cartoony. You're learning to do characters, creatures. This is a space vehicle, a motorcycle, props. So whether it's weapons or tools or drinking, everything has to be designed and painted, drawn, colored. This is a great background. You're learning about perspective. You're learning how to digitally paint the environments that you create. You have interior, exterior. This is called look and feel, where you're designing everything for the piece. And there's even some matte painting projects for concept art. So once again, the industry came to us for digital matte painting, right? Today, matte painting is all done in the computer. And if you're wondering what matte painting is, it's a highly sought after skill, for one thing. They came to us because they said, we can't find anybody here in North America that knows how to do it. They have to go to Europe and bring them in. Well, he said, would you train them here? And the MPC, which is the Moving Picture Company studio, helped us build the course. And here's student examples of, the first plate, and then they add the snow. That's matte painting. This is their hometown, and then they make it a war zone. Again, matte painting. You're starting often with photographs, and then sometimes you're modeling things, and then you're adding to it. So here's a city in the distance. Like I said, highly sought after skill. You can basically go to any city where they do this as a job and get hired. Here's some footage where you can see the digital matte painting of that floating city. And here's a breakdown of it by layer. And you can see how they built up this shot. It's really quite exciting. I've seen our students come, they learn how to do this, and pretty much a week after they finish the course, they're employed. So that's exciting. Excuse me, sorry. Next, I want to talk about our visual effects course. Once again, the industry came to us and said, schools are only teaching them to do the effects that come with Maya, and it's not robust enough. You can't adjust it and stuff like that. So we set up, with the industry's input, our visual effects course, where you're learning to use Houdini. And Houdini is the industry standard for doing very high-end visual effects. So if we could see some examples of, yes, Houdini, of visual effects from our students. I believe this was all done by the student. And you're learning electricity, you're learning fire, wind, smoke, dust. Again, a very highly desirable skill to have for the industry. Kapow. The next course I want to talk about is video game design. I really didn't talk about myself very much. I worked in the industry for over 20 years, right? I worked on everything from TV shows and games, cutscenes for games, and feature films like Disney and Spielberg. And then I became a teacher for the last 15 years. And every school I've ever seen that had a video game course, it was really just modeling. You learned how to model a character or a vehicle. But this video game design course is literally teaching you how to come up with a video game, how to design it. An additional thing that we have, which I really am excited about, well, here's the video game example. They're working with Unity game engine, working with the assets. It's really impressive, at least to me. Okay, so I did want to mention this. in regards to, and we have additional courses that we really haven't shown. Can we just scroll down a bit? We do have writing for animation. It's a special 3-month course, and I don't think there is any other writing for animation course online. It's taught by a professional writer. And this is designed that you can create your own Bible to pitch a TV series to the networks. It's a great course. We actually have 2 of our recent graduates in Russia that have their series being made. So that's really exciting. Here's those students that now are writing their own TV series. Now, what I wanted to mention was, I said we're all online. Well, that changed last year. We actually have what's called a combined course now. So any of our diplomas, any of our 1-year courses, you can decide to take the combined course. And that is when you are allowed as a foreign student or a Canadian to come to this country, and you attend classes on Friday, 1 day a week, here in our offices. And that'll also allow you to get a work visa for 20 hours a week, which will help you out with your expenses. Okay, so I think I rushed through that really quickly, but I'm going to open this up to a Q&A. That's a very old friend of mine. I'm surprised he's on there. He's from Mexico. He's an amazing animator, 2D animator. I believe he switched to learn some computer 2D animation as well. And it's great to network, guys. Stay in contact with the industry people that you work with. Okay, what about the virtual reality program? Okay, this is our new course. It's being offered in the fall, in September. Okay. Again, an industry expert will be teaching it. We're also kicking off a Kickstarter in regards to virtual reality. You know, this is the next evolutionary stage for production, virtual reality. I'm sure everybody's seen that you wear goggles and you're creating these 3-dimensional environments that you're actually immersed in. You will have gloves and you can create environments, animation, and you literally can walk around it and interact with it as well. It's not just for games. They use it for military training. They use it for medical procedures, for training. The really interesting thing that I never knew when I was studying this was that they use it for architecture. And you literally, in virtual reality, can build to proper scale the buildings that you're going to create. And they're saving millions because they can now solve problems before they actually physically build things. You can walk through the building and go, oh, that's where the wiring goes. That's right, everything. Just wondering if you were applying for the winter. When's the deadline for applying? Good question. We have 4 intakes a year. The winter would start in January. We have a spring intake for April. Summer starts in July,